we send her our best wishes. So, before I go into the business section for the club, I would like to send a warm welcome to all our guests. We have a number of guests for today's meeting, so some of them made it very far, like they came from far away, from other parts of Vienna to our Vienna International Center. So yes, we have our area director Xiao, who actually joined us for our online meeting before. So, but now we get to see her in person. So a warm welcome. And yes, and actually just the order for guests. First, we would like you to introduce yourself. Tell us how do you know about the club? And at the very end of the meeting, we would also like a little bit of feedback from you all as to how we can, what do you think about our meeting? What can we do better? So maybe Xiao, you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, especially for those who haven't met you before.
Yeah, so I'm Xiao. My home club is the Vienna Toastmasters 501 Club, and all of you are welcome to visit us sometime. We're also a speaking club. I was club president there last year, and this year I was asked to take over an area, and I thought I would actually love to be an area director where there are clubs that I don't know yet. And this happens to be an area where all the clubs are in Vienna, and not in Austria or anything, right? And I live one subway stop away, and I thought this is a perfect opportunity to jump on Area F2 and bring the clubs closer together. You might have, so Gordana and Buddha were at our NCL, of course, and you guys were all, you ladies were all at our cross-club meeting, and we do want to have more of those in the future. In the winter time, it's a little maybe more difficult, but no, actually restaurants are also big enough, so no reason not to meet other clubs. We have a traveling cup going on that you guys also saw at the social event, which is hosted by the Vienna Toastmasters 501 Club. There are some rules if you're interested. I'm sure Sila's happy to share with you, or maybe she already did, so to encourage more visits among the clubs and be a little bit competitive, right? Go somewhere else, hold a speech, and evaluate their meeting to say what they can do better. So with that, already taking part in more time on the agenda than I'm pretty good, I will pass to the next guest.
Yes, thank you so much, Xiao. So yeah, explain to the club, what is it about more about how we can interact with the other clubs. So definitely, and we have another one from your club as well.
Yes.
Who are visiting us today, Valerie.
Hi, my name is Valerie. I'm also in Xiao's club. I joined about a year ago, and I was just very curious on improving again, because for like 5 years I did presentation and rhetorics training, and every single time I didn't use it, I forgot all about it. And so I was so glad that I joined and I had the opportunity to improve and better. And yeah, so I'm also very much curious how you're going to do it today, how it's going to be different, what I can learn from you. I'm also inviting you to a workshop I'm doing online on the 6th of October on the topic of feedback, how to give and receive feedback. This workshop will be in German, so for those of you who can speak German are welcome to do it in German. But I've also talked to some of your friends and they said it would be cool to have it in English, so if you're interested, I would also do it in English for you to just practice on giving and taking feedback.
Valerie, excuse me, does it cost anything?
No, it's for free, sorry.
Well, yeah, Marie-Theresa is helping to make sure that we get the finance correct. So thank you so much. And are there any other guests, right? Sorry, I didn't.
The people in this row, I'm sorry they're in this row because they are actually very, very welcome. We start with Darlene.
Okay, I'm Darlene Gerard, and I'm on and off for guests. I have not committed yet, but I guess this is my third time. I think I'm still leader.
Cool.
And I'm not making any promises.
Well, if you might move move a row like in front, maybe consider that. You know?
Switch seats.
Next time if you commit, we will have a seat that is committed for you. Just kidding. Yeah, thanks. And
Hello, my name is Astrid, and yeah, this is my first time at the
okay, thank you. And
Yeah, my name is Mathieu, so my first time here too as Toastmasters. I read something on the website, so I think the pages that provided on your page, but I think it's better to see once than to hear or read several times. So yeah, thrilled to see what you actually do here.
cool,
Yeah.
thank you. Good to know that you're checking out our website. It hasn't been updated for some time, but thanks to Benjamin, actually we'll soon have a LinkedIn page as well. So if you have a LinkedIn account, I would also encourage you actually also to follow the LinkedIn page of the club, you know, which is also bringing also to one of the big events for the day that actually Benjamin will be in charge for the coming days. On Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I don't know if you're aware of that, that would be the club days like for the VIC. Meaning that there would be all the clubs in VIC, we would all each one set up a stand in the rotunda, sort of like trying to promote our club to reach out to more potential members. But I would also encourage existing members, if you want to sign up your pathways, if you have questions, issues, you want to let us know, just drop by the booth whenever you have time. So we would have a particular booth just for the VIC Toastmaster Club, and each day there would be some of us around. So, you know, whenever you have a time, it would be from 12 to 2. So anytime that you have a minute, you know, drop by and share some love and support. And so that's the club's day. On the 22nd of September, then me, Gordana, and Elmar will be joining other Toastmaster Club in Vienna to join the business run. So that's a Thursday evening, I think it's like 7:30 that we will start. Again, anyone who would want to show some love and support to cheer for us, you're also most welcome to come and join us, or for a drink afterwards. Or if so happen that you are in the business run anyhow, you will see some of us like running with the Toastmaster t-shirt. So that's for this month's like event. But shortly I would also try to send out a questionnaire, very short questionnaire to all members, just to check out to get a bit of feelings how do you want to conduct our future meetings. Currently we meet twice a month. One meeting is in person, one meeting online. But we wanted to know your feedback as to, you know, how often should we keep our online meeting? What do you think about, you know, areas that we can improve on? So it's going to be a very short online survey that we would appreciate you filling it. And last but not the least, Ria, who actually generously brought some cakes for today, she will be in charge of our social events for the clubs. So if you have any ideas how you want the clubs to run the social events, want to work with her, you know, help her to organize the events, please, like, you know, be our guest. And so that's it for the business section for today. And now I'll pass the floor to our Toastmaster of the day, Benjamin.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to see a full house, your first time as a Toastmaster of the day. I would just start with a few words about the VIC Club Days. Do you need something?
No,
yeah, a few words about those VIC Club Days that are in the Rotunda. I've been there for a few times, or 5 or 6 times in this Rotunda, and I think it's also an opportunity for you to come and train your pitching skills, because basically you're just smiling to people that are passing by and it never stops, so it's a 1 out of 10. So it's a good exercise. I would really we'd be happy to see you. I'll be there on Friday, and I think other people will be on Wednesday and Thursday. I've been tasked as a Toastmaster of the day. I've been reminded to keep our meeting on time, so without further ado, I'll go through the program of today. We'll have an introduction of the evaluation team from Toastmaster Julia. Then we'll have the word of the day from our grammarian today, Maria Teresa. And then we'll have the 2 speeches of the day. The first one with Gordana, thinking of clothing. And the second speaker, our president, Sila, with what's in it for you. And then we'll have table topics with the topic memories, if I'm correct. And we'll go through then the evaluation with Ines as a first evaluator and Melanie as a second evaluator. Then I invite the general evaluator of the day, Julia, to come and introduce the team. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, we came here to be better. We came here to improve our skills. Organizational, team building, timekeeping. This cannot be done without our evaluation team. So please let me to introduce our evaluation team. I will be general evaluator today, but the first evaluator it will be Ines. Yes? It will be first evaluator of the first speech, and after Melanie will be evaluator of the second speech. 2 minutes, from 2 to 3 minutes for each evaluation. Also, we have honorable timekeeper, Marina. Royalty. And we have grammarian, Maria Teresa today. We have accountant, Xiao. And we also have ballot counter,
Ivana.
Ivana.
Who accepted at very short notice.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Then, Toastmaster.
I should introduce because it's my first time, so sorry. I'm learning also here. Topic master. I forgot to introduce topic master.
No, I'm the grammarian.
But no topic master here. Yes,
I do that too. Okay.
We're all first timers here, so. Maria Teresa, Toastmaster Maria Teresa, where am I in the day?
Thank you very much. First of all, you never have to apologize in this club. We're all here to learn, and none of us is perfect. No one. So you perhaps were not aware, as the general evaluator, that you should introduce me as the grammarian to present the word of the day. So that's what I'm doing right now. The word of the day is. Can you read this? Now I'll be honest. I'm a native speaker. I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. So I checked 2 different dictionaries, and one said digress, and the other one said digress. So I will accept it being used in any of these peculiar forms. What does the word mean? It means to deviate, to wander from your original subject. And ordinarily I'm used to hearing people saying something like, but I digress, which means they're coming back on track. I will be keeping track of how many times you use the word of the day in whatever form. I also will be paying attention to your use of the English language, the good things you do, the bad things you do. And I'd like to remind everybody, you don't have to be a native speaker to be a grammarian. I've had grammarians reports that were actually better by people who were not native speakers. So don't let that put you off. Their ears are somehow more attuned. In any event, I'm looking after your language, and at the end, in my report, I will also announce the grammarian's crown, which is for the word or expression that I personally like best in the course of this meeting. And with that, I return control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, who is doing it for the first time, a premiere, Toastmaster Ben.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Maria Teresa. Well, I guess then it's time for us now to go through the 2 prepared speeches of the day. And our first speaker today is Gordana. She's doing her presentation mastery and her second speech, if I'm correct. And today she'll be talking about the impact of clothing, and the title is Printing Clothing.
The purpose of this, can I give the objectives?
Sorry.
Toastmasters, the guest, Madam President. Gordana has an amazing challenge, and she is on the start of a very long journey. She has a project in mind whereby she will
has to develop her skills needed to give, receive, and apply feedback at several levels. The purpose of this speech, the first speech, is on any topic to receive and apply from us feedback and use this also in her second speech.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would like you to take a second and imagine you came to work today completely naked. Yeah, it makes me laugh just to think about what those guards, at the VIC would say or do. And not just the guards, everybody will stare at us, right? I can assure you that at the end of the day, you will probably end up between a police station or, God forbid, in a mental institution. I didn't want to be naughty by saying this, but I want to emphasize how important, how essential clothes are. We don't pay attention to it at all because it's very automatic. We need clothes for absolutely everything that we do. We need clothes to survive in the societies everywhere globally. But it's an automatic kind of thing. We go, we buy, then we get rid of it. We either sell or throw away or give it to people, but we don't necessarily think too much about our clothes. Maybe about the fashion here and there, but not too much about how are clothes made, who made them, where were they made, what kind of environmental or social impacts are there from the clothes, because it's such a huge industry. We all need it. Today I will talk about how to start thinking about this, how to start applying life cycle thinking. And this is a series of one of my speeches. And the second series will be on the impacts of clothing, and the third one, hopefully soon, all of these sessions, the third one on the solutions, what can we do as customers. So, how do we actually start thinking about this production of clothing? How are they made? Where are they made from? It is good to start with life cycle thinking. What does that mean? It means that we have to think of clothes as something that came, first of all, from nature. Everything starts from nature. At some point, somewhere in time, someone extracted raw materials from our environment, from our planet. Went to processes, industrial processes, and sold to us as customers, up to the end where clothing becomes waste. So from the very, very beginning to the very end of this product. And by the way, you can also apply this to other products, but today we're talking about clothing. So to give you just a very short kind of image of what happens with clothing, I will take an example of a cotton t-shirt. How is a cotton t-shirt made? And keeping in mind that all the processes that I will mention, we have to think how each process impacts our society, the local community living in those areas, as well as the human beings in different levels, as well as their environment. So a cotton t-shirt, of course, it starts with cotton. Cotton is an agricultural crop that is grown in a lot of different areas in the world, like Bangladesh, Egypt, Ethiopia, USA, and so on and so forth. So there are people, there are farmers who work on this agricultural crop, but there's also people that are laborers that come and they pick up the cotton. Once they pick up the cotton, it's taken to a different facility, to a facility where the cotton is separated from the seed. Then it's taken to another facility where the cotton is spun. It's a spinning industrial processes where actually thread is developed from the cotton. From there, it's taken to another facility where it's dyed. There are a lot of very heavy chemical processes in the dyeing because there are a lot of chemicals in the colors of the clothes. After that, there is an optional process where there's facilities where we take the clothing or the thread, not clothing yet, the thread for printing. Sometimes they do the printing beforehand, just on the thread. That's another facility. From there, it goes to the sweatshops. Sweatshops are places, facilities where people put these threads together. They sew them. They use embroidery or sewing machines or very different kinds of processes to actually make this cotton t-shirt out of a thread. From there, it goes to the retail stores. Not directly to the retail stores. First, it goes to the retail areas where they make sure that the quality is well, and then sent to the stores for selling. From there, we buy them as customers. We wear them maybe for 5 years, 3 years, whatever, and then we either give it away to our sisters, to our friends, and at some point in time, this t-shirt ends up in a landfill as a waste. Like it or not, it will end up somewhere. So while thinking of all these processes, we have to pay attention that all of these facilities are usually in different countries. Maybe the spinning and the dyeing could be close to each other, but usually the sweatshops and the retail are oceans apart. So that is another environmental impact, as well as social. So today, I would leave with 2 notes. One is I would like to encourage each one of you to today or this week or these days to check your favorite brand. Go online and check your favorite brand, see whether you can see all of the supply chain of the product that you buy. This involves, do you really know where your clothes are made of? The exact materials that are made of, where those materials come from, where exactly are they made? Do we know the people that made? Do we know how much are they paid, and so on and so forth? I guarantee you you'll be surprised at how much little information there are in these brands. And the second, again, I will just invite you to follow my 2 other sessions where we can learn more about the impacts, as well as what we can do as customers to contribute to a positive change in this very huge problem that we have nowadays of the fashion industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much for explaining us the types of clothing. Not sure if I'll come naked tomorrow. But I think Gordon also didn't have time. Maybe it's going to be part of yours, all the sessions, but that the Sustainability Club of the VIC has been working on those subjects with the Sustainable Fashion Week. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they will be also during the VIC Club, the Sustainability Club there, so spell by if you want. It's now time for us to go for the second speaker of the day. 1 minute, sorry. 1 minute to give feedback to Gordon. You can be shorter than
Well, we're not so strict. Why not? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, 1 minute has passed. We will now go for the second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Sila, and I would like to invite Toastmaster Melanie to introduce the objectives of her speech.
So, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. It's my honor to be able to evaluate our current president and one of our international speech contestants, Sila. I'm very excited to hear her speech. I haven't heard a speech for quite some time. She is on the pathway that is called Successful Collaboration. This speech will be her last of level 3, so then she'll be able to get the award for level 3, which is great for our club, to be Distinguished Club. And the title is called What's in It for You? The purpose of her speech is so the purpose of this is for the member to be introduced and to review strategies for working in a collaborative group. So what she's going to do is share some aspects of her experience practicing collaboration with a small team. The member completing this assignment, she's spent some time obviously practicing collaboration, and I find, not to digress from this subject, but when you work in a team and you collaborate together, it's an exchange of energy, and I think I'm really excited to hear what you have to give us, because what are we here for? We're hardwired as humans to connect with each other. So being that you worked and did some collaboration, I'd like to hand the floor back over to our Toastmaster of the day to introduce Sila.
About a month ago, we all attended the first in-person club officers training for Toastmaster club officers in Vienna since COVID, thanks to Xiao and another area director, Daniel's organization. One of the speakers at the training, David, talked about the transferable skills that we can bring to our job of being a club officer. So basically, he's asking all of us, what's in it for you to be a club officer? His question set me to think for days afterwards. Yes, what's in it for me to be the president of the VIC Toastmasters Club? And yes, part of me, I wish that I had thought about it before the election. Which, knowing myself, I know this might not be very helpful, because it might actually stop me from running to be the president. I love writing and delivering speeches, so I know why I want to join the Toastmaster Club, attend the club meeting, join the international speech contest. That part I know. Before the election, I just want to serve the club, and to give back. But that's all I know before the election. But after the election, what I did was actually running the ExCom meetings, opening our club meetings, attending more meetings through representing our clubs. And thanks to Xiao, the number of meetings in Vienna among all Toastmaster Club, it increased tremendously since she became the area director. And of course also being bombarded by many different messages on many different new WhatsApp groups. So what's in it for me? The more I think about this, the more I regret my decision. I regret how come I didn't join earlier and be a club officer much earlier. But for some of you who might not know, my first experience with the Toastmaster Club, it was with a club in Hong Kong 15 years ago when I first started working. And I joined the club there for 2 years. The second year I was the VPE. So I completely understand your struggle, Maria Teresa. But for this year, thank God, we have Ria, who is actually also a very active member and is our VPE secondary. But imagine me, first started working and being the Toastmaster Club, the VPE of that club in Hong Kong. Crazy. I mean, a club in Hong Kong being a Hong Kong club, we have meetings every week.
Wow.
So, and I was on by myself as the VPE. So can you imagine that whole year, how much hair I was pulling myself every time before the meeting, trying to feel the agenda, running after people, can you sign up for roles? I think that experience might be a little bit too traumatizing in the end. That's why, I didn't want to be a club officer for many years afterwards. I just want to work on my speech, something that I like, something that I feel comfortable. You know, after all, you on your strength, right? Isn't that what we are all told to? You focus on your strength, you get, you know, your joy and pleasure from it, and in the end you want to work more on it. But then wait a minute. Has I always been a good speaker? I mean, who of us would be good at public speaking since, you know, we were born? None of us. Right? So I became who I am today by stepping out of my comfort zone, working on something that I'm not comfortable at all, improving it by practicing it, by doing it, even though, you know, you didn't really want to do it, but just keep going. And that's how I become who I am today. And this is exactly the same about, you know, being the president of the club. I know that this is not perfect, but I learn it every day, you know, every meeting, always something that will happen last minute and you need to deal with it. And isn't that also how we deal with everything in life? David's questions actually not only set me to think about why I continue want to be the president of the VIC Toastmaster Club. I think his point is actually also telling us how to be the president of the club. I mean, I've only become the president for 3 months, but the way that I see it is more like, to be a president is a bit more to be like the conductor. Have you attended, like, you know, a meeting, not like a concert, right, in the orchestra? So the conductor is always like giving the bits to the whole orchestra. But a good conductor, if you really want to play beautiful music, is more than just giving them the correct beat. You need to study the music, you need to know the instruments, and most important of all, you need to know the person playing the instrument. You need to know each musician. Under what conditions would he or she play the most beautiful music? And possibly you also need to know, try not to put two people, you know, that don't get along together to play something. All those, you know, behind, that's something that you need to know. So I think for the coming months, what I really wanted to know is also to know a lot more about each of our XCOM members, to know what do they like, what are their strengths, how best can we play the music together, to run the club meetings, you know, to serve, to give back to the club, and also to make sure that there is an open avenue where everyone would be able to play the best music. So what I want to do is, for the coming months, to find out what's in it for you, for you, for you. Why do you want to be a club officer? Why do you want to join the club? And I think until I find out what's in it for you, by then I know what's in it for me.
While I'm giving you 1 minute for giving feedbacks to this wonderful president we have, Sila, I would like just to share what you said of, yeah, that is a really good thing to take up on a club officer role, at least for me, and it's a good opportunity to team with people and to meet you guys before, and Sila is doing that very well. She just offered me a lunch last week to go. First, between the two of us, like, what are we gonna do?
I didn't buy your lunch.
She didn't pay for it. We had this like 2% chat. That was good. Yeah. She's offering lunch. If you want. Yep. 5 seconds. Right. As we don't have a backup speaker today, we'll be, I hope, on time. We'll go now through the table topics with the theme Memories with Toastmaster Rio.
Many thanks.
I need to say that normally we are not asking guests and we are not asking members with tasks, but today, due to the fact that we do not have that much people, I'm going to also ask some members with less tasks, which is not so heavy like speaker. And it is about memories. We all have memories. So my first question is about one of the most sentimental memories you had during a vacation that you never forgot. And this question I would like to address to Ivona.
My best memories from holidays are always including images of animals. I'm a big fan of animals, and actually today I'm getting 2 cats, so I will have some domestic pets. But I don't know where it comes from, this love for these beings. But every time I'm somewhere, like Sri Lanka, I don't remember that much about the food, but I remember the elephants playing in the river. When I went this January for the first time to Africa and I was visiting my friend in Zambia, I was seeing their giraffes and my, at the moment, favorite animal, that is crocodile. And I was so fascinated by this creature because it is mystic. Theoretically, looks like it died, it doesn't move, but apparently it can be so quick that it can eat you in 1 minute together with your shoes. So, yeah, probably for all of you it's not very sentimental memory, but I think these creatures survived so much, and they are carrying so much history and memory with them. I would like to have this chat with a crocodile. And who knows, maybe they would tell me something sentimental or something shocking. I'm very curious.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So while maybe everybody has memories of food, when we are somewhere in the kitchen, your memories about animals. It brings me to the second question. Would please tell me about your memories of a disappointed visit to a restaurant. Could be here in Vienna, could be somewhere abroad. But this is not from the VIC restaurant. And this I would like to address to Ines, please.
Can we please? Yes, sure. About your memories of a disappointed visit to a restaurant. Could be here in Vienna or abroad. Hello, Toastmasters, all guests. Something I never forget. I was in Bangkok, posted in Bangkok, and everybody told me the food in Bangkok is delicious. The Thai cuisine is delicious. And it was one of my first days. We went for lunch with a group, and you would not believe it. It was a very nice restaurant with a lot of aquariums, with all these fishes and animals jumping in the water, waiting to be cooked. It is something I've never seen. Of course, it's delicious to have all these shrimps and all these fantastic fish dishes. This is really something we really can cherish. However, very often we are, and I personally, have been in a culture where you don't see the living animals to be cooked in hot water. What you see is the end product. It comes on your plate, and actually I was thinking of something which was for me important. Going to a restaurant is like life. you are getting something which you ordered. And I was asking, do I want to order really living fish in an aquarium, or really a fantastic dish which makes me feel happy and helps me also to still my hunger? Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Many thanks for this association between life and having living fishes or living animals before, to see them before they are cooked. What a memory. We all have also memories about our time in school. Let me go back with you to our ground school, high school, age of 12, 13, 14. And then I would like to know, please tell us about your memories about your first crush in school. Rina.
Hello Toastmasters, honored guests. I think I had my first crush a lot earlier than 12 or 10, because I grew up in a countryside, farmyard, and just opposite our house there was a little boy whose name was Johnny. I still remember him. And I always went to school with him. If he does not go to school, I do not go. And in the baby class, it was a Catholic school. Girls we sit on the floor, girls sit on the other side, and the boys sit on the other side. It's not mixed. So I stood next to my teacher. I cried so long until she allowed me to sit next to the Johnny. I always cried, I want to sit next to my Johnny. I want to sit next to my Johnny. I was 5 years old. Finally, the teacher gave up. I sat next to my Johnny. That was my first, maybe, I do not remember, maybe that was the case. Now I do not even know where he is. But I still remember the most severe punishment I have received at the age of 10 or 11. I was talking, it was a Roman Catholic school, convent teachers are very strict with the students, with the school people. And I was talking to someone, I don't know what, and this teacher took me and asked me to stand under the hot sun on my knees like a crucified Jesus Christ. And that was not the end of it. I mean, all the children passed by and they were laughing, I was crying. My little sister was so happy about the situation. I am crucified. She ran to home and told my father, Rina did something wrong, and she is standing under the hot sun and like a crucified Jesus. When I came home, my father was standing there with like the long stick and asked me, what did you do wrong today in the class? That day was spoiled to the minimum. I wish I could kill my sister. These are the memories I have. Thank you.
I have a Johnny in my team.
That's trauma.
I have a Johnny in my team.
Yes, it is a drama.
Going to look for Johnny.
No, I know. My brother told me Johnny got married and he's a grandfather now.
Well, thank you so much. You shared with us two memories. Perfect. So my next question is, what was the scariest moment you have ever experienced, Valerie?
Oh, Melanie.
Valerie.
Valerie.
Yes.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, the scariest moment that I've ever experienced is very tough because I'm so scared of heights that I do try to challenge myself. Like, I'm really afraid. Not actually heights itself, I'm scared of falling. So my brother-in-law thought it was really, really good idea to take me climbing. And I don't know how it's called in English, but it's you're hooked to something. It's not really climbing, it's like hiking and climbing combined. You just have like this very small rope and you hook on and you hook off.
Yeah,
exactly. I did that and
Oh no.
we were like, it started out like really nicely, just hiking, and then he's like, okay, buckle on, and I was like, what do you mean buckle on? And he's like, yeah, you just hook on and hook off, and I was like, all right, and it got steeper and steeper, and then I was hanging on this wall, and I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, well, there's no going back, and my hook got attached somewhere close to my leg, and I started freaking out because I was like this, stretched, could not move down there. I was trying to unhook with my foot, and the sweat was dripping down my entire body, and he could see how I was like really. He was like, "If you fall, nothing happens." I'm like, "Don't tell me now." So basically, what he did, what he wasn't allowed to do, he climbed very close to me, and he attached it, and he helped me. He saved me. As soon as we got off this freaking wall, I was lying on the ground for like 5 minutes. I was like, I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move. So yes, that was definitely the most scary experience that I've had.
Mine is nothing. Crucifixion is easier.
So now the last question, very special question. Tell us about a special adventure with the biggest love of your life. We do not need to know or want to know who this was, if it was in high school, ground school, the age of 5, or your current partner. Just these wonderful memories which lead you to the dream event, to dream about the past, about this one moment. Melon.
Melissa. You are, okay, sorry. You're a guest, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're a guest.
Yeah, Melanie.
Melissa, please.
So I will tell the story of when I moved with my husband to New York, and it had been a tremendous journey. This all began with Melissa's dream of working for the United Nations, and which was actually a dream planted by my husband when we met as exchange students in the UK. And he just told me, you know so many languages, you should work for the United Nations. And I said, yeah, that sounds like a good dream. So the journey was extremely long. It included naive Melissa believing she needs a PhD to get a P2 in the UN system, and off she went to do a PhD. With ups and downs, living in Vienna, working 60 hours a week for Deloitte, and writing her PhD. It involved Melissa enrolling as many language courses as possible, because of course, work in the UN, I thought I needed at least 6 languages, so here I go. And it also involved becoming a certified public accountant in the United States, because of course I had to have a qualification. So when all stars collide, there was a year that indeed they were looking for Portuguese nationals, and I applied as a Portuguese citizen to the National Competitive Examination, and with PhD on hand, certified public accountant in all the languages, I passed this really tough exam. This was 20 years ago, it was in 2002. And off we go to New York. But I think the biggest moment was the decision whether we're actually going to New York or not. This was after 9/11. And I just remember my husband looking at me, and he was like, there is no way, we can miss this opportunity. I don't know how much it took you to get here. And I think this was a very romantic moment, and it gave us energy, to move to the city, to sell the car, quit the jobs, move away from the families, and embark in what was the best years of being, young adults. And at the time we were around 28, he was 30, and having an excellent time in New York. So, yeah.
Many thanks, Melissa, for this exciting story about you and your husband, romantic, and going to New York. Do I need to go pick someone a crown now? Is this this? Was this?
No, I do not.
You do not? Me? I do also not? Okay.
I will the ballot. The ballot.
Yeah.
Vote for the
time.
Because you
Everybody is in touch. Two portions.
So may I can a point of order, can I maybe help you? I will do a recap of the keynote expo.
Yeah, let her do it. Let her do it. Let her do it. Because she learns.
Did you write it down?
I wrote it down.
So our first speaker was Ilona, and she had big love for animals, yeah. And her his memories of vacations is always animals and not food. She will get 2 cats today, yeah. And her favorite animal is a crocodile. Then our second speaker was Ines, which was in Bangkok, and we'll never forget to see these living fishes that she will get on the plates very soon. Yeah? And she compared this with life. The third one was Rena. Rena was having the big love Johnny.
And they go 4 or 5.
But also being punished in the school. And the third one was Valeria, who was scared of heights and had such an experience she will never forget, climbing up there, being just connected with books. And fifth one was Melissa. Thank you. It was about her PhD and her husband and the movement to New York and how exciting that was. Thank you so much.
The timing is okay.
I won't say anything about that. Answer me this question. It's true. I know why you don't.
So I guess everyone has voted for the best topic speaker. Right. Thank you very much for the session. It was very fun. We will now go through the evaluation, and Toastmaster Julia will introduce the evaluation.
I think we have a point of order.
Sorry to digress. I just need to leave in a couple of minutes. I assumed your meeting would be about an hour long, and I have a 2 o'clock meeting I need to get back. So I was wondering if anyone wants to hear the outcomes report beforehand, or if I should pass it to someone else to continue.
I guess you can.
But I won't be able to count the evaluators.
I can do it if you want to.
Okay, I'll just give you the page.
Okay, sounds good.
We usually go to 1:30.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
We're sorry you have to leave.
Yeah, because I don't have here, it's really close to me.
You know how to get up? I don't know, I'll ask my way. I pass it around. I bring her down.
Yeah, just bring it to the bottom.
To the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then she can see the people.
Okay.
Toastmaster Julia.
Yes, so
Please let me to open very important part of our meeting, what help us to be better. The first, it will be first evaluator, Ines. She will evaluate the first speech about thinking of closing. So, and now you have your turn. Oh, I should introduce all.
No, just the first.
Toastmaster Julia. Madame General Evaluator. Toastmaster Gordon. Could I get from the timer 3 minutes?
It's already started.
2, 3.
You have to.
Yeah, I have 3. Can I have 4, please? No. I'm going to get the 4, hopefully. Toastmaster Gordon, you really had to give us a message, and you had a very clear message for us. Thank you for that. I really think that the issue you really picked out from this whole mountain of not only textiles but clothes, very important. So the issue you put in, the topic, and the word you have put in, I know we talked, we were on the email, you prepared very well. I will start with a number of issues which are linked to the structure of your speech, your opening. Your opening was strong. That's good. Because everybody looked at each other. Oh, how would it look like when we did it? That means, actually, your title could be, do you really need clothes? Instead of thinking of clothes. Or clothing. Do you really need clothes? Do you really need it for every minute, for every occasion, for every cultural issue? So think about your title. The structure of your speech was your introduction, was very well done. I will come later to improvements. The topics, the main issues which you really wanted to tell us about were put on the table for us as food for thought. Well done. Could be really improved. Come to that. The conclusions. Your conclusions, I was looking for them, were actually going in a direction of, should be going in a direction of call for action. You want us to do something. You want us to be more aware of what you're finding in the stores and, sorry to use the word, lots of cheating. I thought it would have been actually good, I don't know whether you've done it, when you were preparing this message to us, and you will be doing a whole series of talks on this, speeches which will have to really help us to change our minds, to change our choices, our consciousness on clothing, on clothes, on textile, and the whole issue of textiles, the textile sector actually. The message is huge. I think it would be good to go for the preparations to all these stores and see what these days are being kept on the labels. The labels are saying these days from H&M to Zara, these textiles are made from recycled parts or recycled clothing. They are saying this. They are telling us, why are you worried about this whole clothing issue and where they will end up in the end. So please take this in the core topic and the core preparations of your talk on clothing and textiles. Because people will not only look at how you present things and your body language, I'm coming to that, but they're always looking at what is she telling us. You want from us an emotional change. You need us to get excited about the project. With your focal variety, you have a slow tempo, you have a good tempo, sometimes. But you could also say, I want you, Maria Teresa, not to go to H&M and buy this t-shirt, recycle it, because see what's happening. Okay, thank you. So, I really see, with the self-confidence you asked me to look at, you're getting there. And it could be better. And you will be really getting to the point where you say, yes, I know what the message is. Clarity, you're very clear what you want to say. Your eye contact was good. Your gestures were actually a bit more smiling. This is not only smiling, bring in the issue of, we have an issue, we have a problem. The positive issue is you have an audience who are really very interested in these things. Look at us. We are
thinking, we are reading, etc. And in your communication culture, which you are developing through this project, I think, use the props. Come up with a t-shirt, a new one, and a recycled one. Come up with PowerPoint the next time. Come up with statistics. You're telling me something and I want to know. As a professional, you're telling me this, you're telling us that. Please come up with some statistics. I want to see, is it really true what you're telling us?
Ines, sorry, because we already ran. Maybe after during the coffee you can discuss.
I will stop here and bring in, yes, and bring in the issue. I got a special request from Gordana to help her to improve her capabilities, and that I think you appreciate.
Digress.
Thank you very much. I think this is the time to take coffee together and to discuss. Please let me to introduce the second evaluator, Melanie.
I'll keep it short.
You're going to talk shake hands.
At the podium, at the podium.
You're almost there. I'm trying to be quick. Perfect timing, you've come back just so I can give you your evaluation. I don't need to go through everything on this evaluation form because you can all see we have a very experienced speaker on our hands. I'm so glad she's our president this year. We can see why she has been the one to represent us for the International Speech Contest. Just the start, her intro, referring to the training that we did together, so you have something to think about. Well, how did she think about collaboration? She brings us there, she creates a story. Her hand gestures, how about the hand gestures? I didn't see her at once do this, her body, her shoulders were back, her hands were in the power position, she was funny. I love how you kept repeating the title, so we really knew what she was talking about, what's in it for me? And then twisting that and saying, well, what's in it for me as well as what's in it for you? What can I get out of this? The history, she brought up the history about the beginning of her Toastmasters journey in Hong Kong and how difficult and challenging it was, and thinking about, why am I even doing this? But then that little twist again, I'm so glad that I am doing it, and why didn't I do it earlier? I really like the way she used the comparison of the conductor. That really brings something in, because life is a stage. Life is like a concert, and we're all a part of it. And even though she's the conductor, she can't be anywhere without all of us. You know, someone being the music and knowing it, someone playing an instrument, and then knowing the people and how they connect with each other. Sila, outstanding. There is absolutely nothing that I can say to critique you on this except slow down, because we love it. You are so good, and I just want to absorb everything you have to say. If you have any props next time to bring an example of what we did in our training, we are visual people, we like to learn, and we like to see things, and I just say kudos to you, keep going. And for back to our Toastmaster of the day, or evaluator of the day.
General evaluator.
No comments from the people.
Dear speakers, thank you very much. Dear evaluators, also thank you very much, because you really gave very detailed evaluation. What was done very good, what can be improved. And like what I found, we had very dynamic both speakers and evaluators here. So we got some lessons what we can learn better, we can improve our skills. And however, we didn't finish this evaluation. Please let to continue with some technical part like grammar, account, and what we have timekeeper. Please let me to give a floor to our grammarian, Maria Teresa.
General evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Only two people used the word digress. Melanie was one of them, and Sean was the second. I had my ears totally perked up, expecting to hear it more often. In case you said you didn't know what it was, it's on the agenda. I always look at the agenda, and thank you to Rena for always being so faithful in giving us the agenda. So now I'm going into my real grammarian's report. I didn't like the way you were talking about giving control of the meeting to somebody else. You were talking about giving the floor, taking the floor, passing the floor. I'm not sure I really like that. I know in the days of Zoom we were always saying, I give the word now. I give, the word. The whole business with the floor. We used to talk about, I give you the podium, but some people didn't like that either. Other than that, I didn't like all the thank yous. You don't say thank you when you finish something. You have contributed to this club. We should be thanking you. I know it's just your way because you're used to in your professional life to say thank you. But here in Toastmasters, we are concerned about control. Now, I'm not a control freak, but there is a certain way that you do things, the continuity, the transitions. That's why I was freaking out when people were leaving the podium unattended. One of the main things about Toastmasters, you're always supposed to have somebody standing here with the handshake. That has nothing to do with grammar, but since it involved the thank you, I digress. One for me. There were a few grammatical mistakes, but can I be quite frank? I almost don't feel like mentioning it. Because for anybody who presents in their second language, my hat is off to you. Gordana, I'm looking at you because you were talking about the cotton is spin. It should be the cotton was spun, past tense. And then you also mispronounced Sue. It should be so. Anyway, so minor, so absolutely minor. In any event, I found this a fascinating meeting. Ria, one thing you did that was not quite right. You said that much, and it should be that many. With that, I return control of the meeting. I like that one. I return control of the meeting to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Julia.
I will tell you when I signed for this role, as Stila mentioned, I didn't know, but it's a lot of work. I was thinking at the end it will just give, oh, it was okay in time, but now I feel really like responsibilities to consider its important part. So please let me to continue this evaluation and to give a word to timekeeper Rina.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, the timing is when okay. Who was the first speaker? Gordana. So I put next to the first speaker. Gordana spoke for 6 minutes 47 seconds, and the second speaker Silla 6 minutes 58 seconds. Table topics: Ivona 1 minute 39 seconds, Ines 1 minute 57 seconds, I 2 minutes 14 seconds, Valerie 1 minute 54 seconds, Melissa 1 minute 55 seconds. And evaluation: Ines took 6 minutes 48 seconds, and Melanie took 1 minute 56 seconds. This ends the timing. This ends the timing.
Let's continue with our counting. Valerie, yes, you do.
Yes.
Read its results.
Well, I took over the role. I hope I can read Xiao's handwriting and the little notes that she made. But overall, it looks really good. Everybody did a really good job. I'll go over the list that Xiao made. Scylla, for the speech that you gave, you had nothing. It was incredible. Like it was really, really good. You had an introduction and like when you talked in between. And Xiao mentioned that you used the word so a lot of times, like a lot. It was like I'm not even gonna count. But so apparently you used the word so. Then Marie Teresa, I have nothing. Gordana, you used a lot of times. And also the word so, it's like about 15 times. Julia, you used the word and 3 times. Melanie, 3 times aunt. Rina, nothing that I've noticed. I used the word like once. Ria, you and 5 times. Melissa, you said and twice. Ines, I didn't notice anything about the M's. But that was also because you did not try to be fast. 6.5 minutes. maybe speed up and say a little bit more ams and stay in time. And then Ben has s and 5 times, and Ivona has twice. Thank you. I went back.
Madam, you can just say Madam General Evaluator.
Madam General Evaluator, hand back to you. No, I don't hand back, right? What did you say? I return control
You
of
can
the
just say,
game.
you can just address and say Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, Madam General Evaluator, I return the control to you.
You don't even have to say that. You can just say Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. We need to move on because the timekeeping is an important part of our meeting. And now we are going to the most interesting section of Toastmaster. It's who is the winner. Yes, and I need to give a floor to ballot counter to announce this person.
I'm very happy to announce the winner of the round of table topics, our Honorable Rina.
How many votes do you have?
Thanks to my Tony.
I think I get it from the president.
From the president.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, please let me to make a general evaluation of our meeting as a general evaluation. And my word, yes. We have a sense of humor today. It's good. Actually, compared to previous meeting, we have much more humor today. We laughed a lot, and it's made our meeting very dynamic. This is a positive what I noticed. We follow our agenda. However, we have some problem with timekeeping, and one of the things what I noticed today in the morning we don't have when we are end. So we have started, and we should consider the first we have job and we need to follow our schedule at work. And another thing, if we are talking too long, we are taking time of someone. This is the way to consider, but timekeeping is still an issue. Another issue what I would like to raise, we need to involve more guests, because our guests here, they've been not acting. So, but I noticed previously when I've been table topic, I also was not involved so much. But when I joined as guest, I was much more involved from the beginning, I think. Yes, Melanie can come.
Yeah, I had to do table topics as a guest. I think it was great.
Yeah, ordinarily it's not our practice to do that. We think at the beginning we let them ease in.
I like it.
So maybe they can tell us later.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, we also.
Maybe we need to create actually something, as we know, with guests coming, we can create some activities for guests to be a little bit more involved and to feel. Because when I start today, I feel I'm shaken because I came to speak on the public. On the second of my evaluation already, I'm not shaken. On the third time of my speech, I'm already relaxed and thought, Ines, no, please we need to stop and something. So it gives me much more to feel comfortable. So I think it's the same for guests. The more they're involved, the more feel comfortable. Thank you so much, and please let me what
And you know what? I like saying thank you. I think gratitude in life is a very important value we should never underestimate. And so I'm going to continue to say thank you till the day I die. So sorry, Teresa, I fight you on that one. I believe gratitude is very
Let's go outside. Let's go outside. It's just one
because our time is a critical point, so please let me back to
Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, and I will be very short, but thank you very much. It was rock and roll, but I had a lot of fun. It was the funniest Toastmaster meeting we had. And with this, I return control of the meeting to our chairperson, Sila.
Yes, so to keep time, I'll make it brief. We have a lot of first timers today, but I really wanted to say thank you and we all learn by doing it, by actually diving into it. So I think with this spirit, that will set us, up for many other challenges in life as well. So thank you all for trying, and also, reminding us of the tradition, but I guess there is a fine balance. We'll figure it out in the coming meetings. But for the guests, may I ask you a bit of, give us a bit of, your feelings and comment for our meetings, 1 or 2 sentences, so that we don't take up too much of each other's time. Anyone? The guest? Yes?
I think this was the funniest meeting recently, I would say, to keep that way.
Okay, but you keep coming, right?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay, please. Okay, and?
Yeah, it was indeed very fun. Yeah, I think the timekeeping is important, as Julia mentioned, like to align it with workshops. So, but it was very funny and I will keep coming.
Thank you. Are you committed now? A little bit, maybe a little bit more committed?
Okay, this is the most chaotic Toastmaster that I've been to this one. But that also means there's room for me to improve. And I always felt a bit reluctant to join because it was too pumped. And I wasn't ready. I always felt like I had to over-prepare to come.
I see.
Right. So
we did it for you so that you
will learn your speech. So it can help. But there's one thing how do you sign up for Whoa? Because
I wish
I know
the website.
Yeah, no, I know the website, but when you click on it, you get a description, and then by that time, it's like something else.
I think actually not, I mean, Julia, I loved your comments about including guests, but ordinarily guests are not really active until they become members.
Okay.
And once you're a member, Darlene, and our membership president is right over there.
Okay.
So we have no excuses. Maybe we won't let you out of the room. You have a little talk with her.
Okay.
Once you're a member, then you can sign up. And
Okay.
please, I appeal to everybody, please. I don't know what it's like in your club, Valerie, but we always need people to be ready and waiting, and not to have things so chaotic. But other than that, I mean, I loved today's meeting. It was very refreshing.
Yeah. And if you have a minute during the club's meeting, we can also show you. But according to the reservation, wait till you become the member. So
Okay, you have to be a member. Okay, that's why. Okay.
But in case you want to know more, drop by at the club day. It's like tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday at the.
Darlene, you can send me an email message anytime. Give me a call.
We will have a computer there, so we can help you.
Well, in comparison to the club we also have troubles signing up some roles that we have to fill. We have a WhatsApp group in which we will message the roles that are still not taken. So a couple of days earlier, we try to fill all of the roles, we try to fill all of the speeches. We do involve our guests always in the table topics because it's a great way for them to practice and also feel like first they're really scared and then they get over it and they're like, that was actually pretty good, right? I think we're a little bit more stringent on the timing. So if somebody goes over, it either doesn't count, like either it's a table topic or a speech, it cannot be evaluated anymore. Not evaluated, but you can't vote for it. And also, we should break it off at some point because it's unfair, especially if we're in the evening, so it's okay. But we're like, no, it's enough, and please just take the time afterwards, because that's what we do. The evaluation time is never enough. We have 2 minutes for the written feedback. That was me, because I was like, guys, we're here, we're pulling feedback, we want to improve. And then you have this tiny sheet, which is absolutely the most horrible thing about Toastmasters in my perspective.
I used to ask her down, I used like 3 different forms.
So I introduced that we have 2 minutes for the written feedback, and we only have the 2 to 3 minutes of the oral feedback, but then usually after our session ends, the evaluator and the person that gave the speech go together, just the 2 of them, and then they can actually go through it.
And with that, so we're going to meeting, and I'll see you at the stage. Oh yeah, sorry, that's for Rina. Yes. Thank you. Okay, good. Yay. So look, have some pics, no?
The
workshop.
That would be great.
I'm sending you the written.
Okay. Or if it's easier to talk on the phone or something, that's also. I know you wanted to do. That's why.
I am not.
I appreciate it.
I am not loud.
Yeah, I think.
I really need.
Have a nice day. See you.
Will you be there tomorrow? Yeah.
You know, I really see that we learn from new speakers from actually especially if you would not talk to other clubs and things like people in their own project.
Sure, yeah.